Did YG stop sabotaging Lisa? And there are again a variety of things that they are angry about, a lot of things that are honestly really valid. Since forever, Blinks have been bringing up the fact that Lisa faces a lot of xenophobia. But then within this same hashtag, people are also really mad about a badly photoshopped picture, saying that this photo represents the epitome of her mistreatment, that it's terrible, that YG treats her so badly with this terribly photoshopped photo. So as we see, Lisa, I guess, posed without a phone to then Photoshop a phone into that picture, but it seems the phone was just pasted over her hand. And I do need to say, I don't know where this ad was shown, if this ad was even shown. I don't know where they got this picture. Because for the most part, when I do search for the phone itself, I do see photos that were edited a lot better than this. But just my initial observation is that this would be the phone company's issue and not YG's issue. If you're doing a brand deal, you have to get the ads approved by the brand before posting it anyways. So the brand would have had to approve this picture. So even if YG did edit this to shit, it's the phone company who was like, oh yeah, this is a good idea. Second of all, this is funny as hell. I don't understand how this turned into mistreatment when rightfully it's just a meme. You know, it just seems a little bit trivial when you claim that this is proof of mistreatment when there are tangible things that YG actually has done and continues to do that is concerning. Among more recent concerns, some people are also mad at her styling on Youth With You. So the first time she appeared on the show, she was obviously there in person, and her styling seemed a little bit more colorful. However, as she is filming long distance, people are saying that YG is not putting any effort into her styling. And that's an issue because it's proof of mistreatment and she deserves better. Now for the styling argument, it's honestly based in personal opinion. I mean, let's look at the first set of pictures that show what she wore the first time she appeared on the show. Is it more simple in this newer season? I mean, absolutely. But does that mean YG just isn't putting any effort? I mean, maybe that's just what Lisa wants to wear. Regardless, looking at the materials alone, I have no doubts that what she's wearing is probably super expensive and probably costs more than I'm personally worth. And it's just interesting to think about because, again, there are really valid things that Blinks are bringing up in terms of mistreatment, and I totally agree with that. But when you're pairing that along with like a badly photoshopped picture, it just, again, seems a little trivial. Soren from CLC literally posted a TikTok about, becoming a trainee in Korea, becoming a K-pop idol, that they are weighed all the time, that they are watched constantly with footage. And honestly, even without that, we already know the horrors that people have to go through to become a K-pop idol. Just being in the entertainment industry as a whole, we're already very aware of this stuff. So it just baffles me that we collectively chose to overlook all of those things and say that the white shirt is just the epitome of mistreatment and ran with it. But of course, let me know what you think of all of this in the comments below. Do you think the Photoshop and simple styling on her show are indeed reflective of bigger issues brought forward and are merely a catalyst to demand for change? Or do you think nothing of it and think it takes away from the bigger issues? Let us now move on to Rosie, or Rosé. As we all know by now, Rosie is coming out with her much-awaited solo, which is very bluntly titled R. Now, a lot of us have already saw the pre-title track Gone during the show, maybe some re-uploads, and it seems that the title track itself is going to be called On the Ground. But here's the thing. It seems that there are some people who are a little bit mad about everything going on right now, so let's talk about that. There are a few things that I've personally noticed that have rubbed me the wrong way, and it seems I'm not the only one. I also saw an article that said that Blinks are pissed off at YG. How unsurprising. But for the most part, I think people are just incredibly excited for it to come out. But one of the main issues people have is that it's a single album. Now, single album can mean a lot of things. It could mean 2 songs, it could mean 4 songs, but definitely not a full album, definitely not a mini album. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that, right? We remember Jennie's solo that came out, it was literally just 1 song. But a lot of people are saying that, YG made so many promises. YG kind of made it seem like there was going to be a lot of songs on this album. YG took 2 years to release 2 songs, so people are obviously a little bit upset. So on the single album, we of course have the title track On the Ground, then we have Gone, and then there are of course 2 instrumentals, which I don't think count entirely as their own entities, but I digress. And it really makes you question, what the hell is YG actually doing? We already know that YG likes to give the bare minimum even within their full album for the album. Do I think it actually took 2 years for YG to come up with 2 songs? I absolutely do not think so. But again, if we bring up past YG, if we bring up the fact that Jennie had her solo first and how much hate she got for her solo, it doesn't really surprise me that it took them 2 years to come out with these 2 songs, because times have for sure changed. Jennie got so much hate when her solo came out. And it's really interesting because me, as someone who followed YG from like 2008 and on, was surprised that she got a solo. The narrative was kind of like, well, no, Blackpink shouldn't be focusing on solos right now. They should be focusing on group activities. But then if you actually think back to like 21, in 21's first year, 2009, their debut year, they had 1 pre-debut track, 2 title tracks, 2 solos, and 1 subunit. I do actually think there's a lot of ways to see this. I mean, is this typical of YG? Kind of yes and kind of no. We for sure know that YG is a company that is a perfectionist, and Teddy himself has expressed that in Blackpink's documentary. We also mentioned 21, who had all this stuff going on during their debut year. Look at all the music videos they came out with. Look at all the stuff they personally came out with. It was obviously different times as well. That's something to consider. But then on the other end of things, so we have YG, who sometimes just gives us so much. You know, Blackpink's debut, we just got so much. And then sometimes YG just gives us nothing at all. You know, for example, my friend was telling me that for Big Bang, for half their career, they were basically inactive. And if you look at their discography, you look at all the holes within their discography according to the years that they're active. But it also leaves us with the question of, where did we actually get the idea that it would be a full album? I found the original statements, which claims that rather than releasing a digital single, they were planning on releasing multiple songs in an album format. And maybe with the hype from the album and the word multiple songs, people just kind of assumed. But let me know if there were other things that YG did or said that might have actually led people to believe that it would be more than 2 songs. But even without anything from YG, I think it was just an expectation. If we read some of the comments on YouTube, some people are saying, you know, they really expected YG to give a lot more than just 2 songs. Some people are praising her for, of course, taking part in the writing of the songs. Some people don't know where her arm is. And some people are saying that people are being ungrateful for wanting more than what is being given. So I would again love to know what you think about this. Do you think had she got a full album, that people would think that Jennie got the short end of the stick because she only had 1 song? Do you think that's even a thought that crossed their mind? Or do you think